So thank you, Wendy. Super excited to host today this panel on machine monitoring. And with me are Pavel Konecny, CEO of Neuron Soundware, Shaul, who's co-founder and CTO of Augury, and Ariel Rosenfeld, CEO of 3D Signals. So hi, guys. Over the next 25 minutes, we'll try to cover various topics on machine monitoring. So you know that in today's manufacturing era, machine monitoring can lead to improvements in productivity and profitability. I would appreciate it if each one of you takes, a couple of minutes to explain how your company addresses this issue. Gal, do you want to start?
Of course. So nice to meet all of you. At Augury, we've been around machine health for a while now. And the way we do that is we take a holistic approach to machine health, going with a full cycle solution from the sensors to the cloud, and then to the insights that actually create change management with our customers and partners at scale. So the way we approach that is by first eliminating unplanned downtime within specific manufacturing line. And we work mainly in consumer packaged goods, in food and beverage, pharmaceuticals, and paper industry. And within those industries, we eliminate unplanned downtime with critical equipment, and later on, remove some of the maintenance costs associated with other machines within those production lines. As a whole, at scale, it changes the manufacturing and operation of the companies we interact with day to day.
Pavel?
Hello. So I'm Pavel Konecny. I'm CEO and founder of Neuron Soundware. And as the name of our company tells, we use audio as the primary physical source of information about the machine mechanical state. Yeah. So it's very useful in predictive maintenance, but we have some applications in other areas when you can use audio for some advanced process monitoring, if some production is ready enough, or supervise some existing infrastructure in a place. So it's all based on machine learning, AI algorithms. That's how we started. We added also industrial IoT device to make super easy for customers to install. There's no IT involvement. You don't need to do some complex IT machines. And sound, it's an excellent source of data. It's the primary manifestation of any mechanical failures coming, and that's where we apply our effort with some additional sensors if required. But with that, we can help diagnose the machine, recognize coming mechanical failure, inform the responsive teams so they can either reschedule or schedule maintenance or postpone it if everything's running smoothly. And that helps save money, prevent these unplanned downtimes and repairs, and improve the efficiency of manufacturing anywhere.
Cool. Ariel?
Hi, my name is Ariel. I'm the CEO of 3D Signals. What we do is we help our customers to improve their financials significantly by bridging over technology gaps that they have over the last 100 years in several days by implementing a full IoT platform, hardware and software, sensors, edge, cloud, algorithm, UX, providing them insights that they never had before and things that they can measure that were unmeasurable before we came, and therefore they can improve significantly.
Very interesting. Can each one of you please share a concrete example or a use case of a challenge one of your customers had and how your solutions helped address that? Maybe we'll go in the same order.
Same order. Yeah, so we have a lot of examples. I'll share one of them that looks at kind of complex situations. So we're working with a consumer packaged goods company, and with them, they had problems with two-space mixers that they're using, and the problem was twofold. One is to identify when something happens and then avoid the unplanned downtime that it causes, and it stops the entire production line when you try to make toothpaste. The other one was the overall maintenance cost of that over a period of 5 years. How many repairs do you have for that? How many times do you stop that for an overall of that equipment? So with the insights that we were able to provide them, they changed the maintenance cycles to be insight-based and not based on compliance or based on schedule. And it changed dramatically the way they operate around those. And while at it, they had 24/7 health assurance to make sure that if something happens between those maintenance costs, between those maintenance cycles, they're able to look at it in real time and repair the issues before it becomes a malfunction that stops their manufacturing.
Perfect. So my turn. So let me give an example from automotive customers where we are using our technology to detect actual in real time failures a robotic line has. Yeah. So it's moving, some pallets, sometimes it's just lost it on the way. That can be very damaging because if you don't fix it within minutes, then the next move will collapse. They might just hit and screw the lines. And as it's moved, it's very difficult to kind of avoid situation. And time to time, it appears that suffers. They had people just constantly watching what's happening, and what we are doing is kind of listening to how that robotic line operates, and we respond in real time. The algorithms process data locally within the edge. It sounds and highlights a light siren, so tracks the people who are nearby their duty, so they can stop the line, fix the issues, and then can just continue smoothly operational. Yeah, so it appears on a daily basis, and it kind of leverage the best of the technology. So it's real-time processing of the data within the edge, reacting on severe situation which might happen in a manufacturing.
Cool. I'll describe what happened in March 2020. As you know, COVID-19 caught the entire world in surprise. And we have our first customer. It's a large, in German standards, it's a medium-sized company, 4,500 employees, a lot of factories all over the world. And they had to fulfill several tasks, both to be able to be efficient, of course, and to control their factory remotely, and to implement social distancing instructions. And when they entered COVID, we already, since we're working with them for almost 2 years, they were already digitized. So they could monitor and set KPIs in terms of performance for every shift in every machine in 5 different locations all over the world. So people could understand what they should achieve in that 8 hours, even without a manager standing right next to them in the shop floor. That's one thing. The other thing is that when they had, when the morning shift ended and the afternoon shift started, they had their own social distancing instructions of 1 hour, more or less, that nobody is in the shop floor. So morning shift get out and afternoon shift gets in, and instead of that event happening at the same time, it happened in let's say there was like 1 hour with no one in the shop floor. And with our solution, they could measure and see that they are actually doing that. And so there was a big drop between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. because nobody was there, and they compensated for that 1 hour in the rest of the 7 hours of the shift. So since they were the factory of the future entering COVID, they could perform. Actually, they reached their all-time high during COVID, and they could see that they both doing that, but implementing any social distancing instruction that they had.
So since we're on the topic of COVID, I'll continue in that thought. How do you see that influencing the adoption of digital tools? Do you see any shift in demand, a shift in the market, I imagine that it's way more difficult to bring in technician teams, so it may actually increase demand for solutions like yours. I'd be interested to see your perspective on how that influenced your customers and your business.
Same order?
Same order, I guess. Gal, if you could.
All right. So COVID caught all of us by surprise, but some organizations were more ready than others. Like Ariel mentioned earlier, some of them started their digital processes beforehand. What we've seen, at least in the segments, industrial segments that we work in, that they had to manufacture way more in consumer packaged goods, pharma, paper, all of them were in kind of hyper growth in terms of manufacturing, at least, and kind of increasing demand 3x, 4x sometimes. It's crazy, while they only had half the staff coming to the factory at any given moment, right? So that calls for accelerating digital transformation programs to as fast as possible. So we've seen that. So increasing demand was very high for us specifically, but in the market, it accelerated things that would have taken the next 5 or 10 years in change management and how can you scale programs, and just became obvious that that's what's doing. All the resistance from the existing teams and from people that are already there and the current way of doing things, all of that disappeared, and people that had the financials to support it or business models to help that improved. In terms of the digital transformation itself, 3 aspects of that. One of them is collaboration, a little like Ariel said earlier, the people that talk around the shift, how to share information between shifts, how to share information with people that are currently home but need to make decisions on what's happening on the production floor, and the insights that support that, and communication in context of a specific issue that you want to solve. That's one thing that changed dramatically, and we're seeing that. On the resilience piece, we saw a lot of people that need to manufacture more things within the same line. So the shift in the recipes that we see in the line, that shifted as well, because manufacturing became more local. So more things were not shipped, but you had to make them more locally. And sometimes you had to do more things. As an example, we worked with a large tissue manufacturer. They went into making masks in this pandemic, and they had to switch for that within 72 hours. So that, a lot of it changed. Also, the third aspect is that they had supply chain problems. And some of it is technicians that could or couldn't get into sites. Most of the people got it figured out within a few weeks, but we couldn't travel. So when we wanted to deploy our service, all of a sudden we had to work with local vendors. And again, technology came to our side. So that's a third piece that came in, everything around AR that came into sites in order to help you with vision was also very apparent. What we're seeing now is that kind of people learn how to work in the new way, that digital trend is continuing, and people want more integrations and more of what they started doing to actually increase. So it changed for, at least for manufacturing, it's a new wave of technology that's coming.
And Pavel, do you see the same thing in your company?
Yeah, we got clients from different verticals. So we have installations in automotive sector, in pharma, in energy. Maybe the largest impact we have recognized is in automotive. Because at least in Europe, where we build millions of cars, and the first wave hit the Europe, it's just everybody was ordered home. They closed the factories. They kind of even dismount some of the team. I was in discussion with a team from Volvo, even from US, from procurement. These people were on unpaid leave for the rest of the summer. Yeah, but still kind of performing their job. So I see that the first reaction is kind of like a stop everything, let the people kind of sit home, face out the COVID. The second wave, which hits now the Europe and especially Czech Republic, it's a bit different. So try to keep the manufacturing, the factories open, the business open, just close the people meeting in personal life or other unnecessary meetings. So, but it's definitely slowed down. I will say the pace. It's good they can talk with the people. They are now used to video conferencing. That was not something they will prefer to do in Europe. They rather want to see you in person. So now everybody takes a standard that yes, no visitors, we need to do the video conferencing. So there's a big change, but it prevents the availability to execute new projects, to do installations, innovate in many of the customers. Yeah, so they see that digitalization is a trend, but immediate reactions, we recognize it's kind of rather uncertainty. What's are they going to be the need for our products? So hence they are rather looking into how we can save money, and that's, I will say, the primary instinct of many of these companies.
And Ariel, do you see customers starting new journeys of digital transformation?
Yeah, exactly. So I share the same view as Gal. Actually, COVID accelerated for us digital transformation processes for our clients. We have the entire, it saves us a lot of explanation that we needed to do in the past of why it is important to control your assets remotely, why it is important to take decisions based on data, why it is important to be more efficient. So basically, COVID is still an accelerator for our solutions. Their customers are willing to meet with us, both the sales team and the installations team. We have a local team in our main target territory, which is Germany, both sales and FAEs. So we could do everything basically as usual, even though traveling was challenging. But since the end of July, we continue to travel basically as usual. We have special permissions from the German embassy because our technology is essential to go back and travel. I came back last week for my 6th business trip in Germany over the last 3 months. So in high level, it created much more demand for our solution, and we succeed to overcome all the challenges of not meeting each other. Let's put it that way.
Okay, interesting. Thanks. So going back for a second to the technology, I mean, all 3 companies are actually focused on collecting acoustic or vibration sensor data to give those machine monitoring or machine health services. Do you need other data? Can you use other data to improve predictions or to improve the alerts? And what type of data? Is it SCADA? Is it data from MES systems? How do you see that?
Yeah, great question. I think the value proposition that we provide and maybe that entire realm provides as our take is that you can get immediate value without connecting to any of the platforms that exist. A lot of legacy software, a lot of legacy hardware are there, and integration projects sometimes sync those digital transformation initiatives and years and years and years of integration. By the time that you finish, the champion is not already the organization, and it costs millions of dollars before you see one insight that helps you improve. So we come from the other side of it, and we generate ROI usually within the first few weeks for the entire first year of operation. So the change starts immediately with providing insights on top of the vibration data of machine health that allows you to improve your manufacturing, and change management within your organization starts at day 1. You signed it, you came, you installed, people can install now themselves the program product, right? So we ship it out, they install it, it all connects to the cloud and doesn't need any integration. That's the first step. From there, 3 things we see happening as you mature with those programs around health. One is that you can incorporate more data for context. What are you trying to manufacture? What the machines were trying to do? What other operational aspects you see there, the level of scrape, level of quality of the production, all of that helps improve time accuracy. When is the right time to fix something that is starting to get broken, and to understand if the problem, where exactly the problem is. Sometimes it's a problem not in the system that's malfunctioning, but somewhere else, and you can see that and know it from the process that you're monitoring. The second aspect is to connect it to the overall schedule of the plant or of the facility that you're in. An insight came, and now you need to repair something, right? So you would get from Augury the machines to notice everything that you need to do in the day-to-day. That comes in within the other tasks that you already have for the maintenance and operations team, and that needs to sit in one place. So what you want to have is one task list for your day or for your week or for your months, and not multiple ones. Third aspect is to be able to standardize that across the organization as you're going through digital transformation in operations that are large, right? From mid-sized company like Ariel mentioned to huge corporates with hundreds of facilities in them, the level of standardization and planning that they want to do on top of insights and to be able to transform the entire company, that changes and then sometimes integrates into other plans and other insights in order to create the full picture of that. We haven't seen that happening yet in the industry, but that's definitely the direction it's headed.
Pavel, what about your case? I mean, do you use other data than the acoustic sensors?
Yeah, I think all the benefits of really avoiding the big data IT projects is here. Yeah, so that's why we all focus on raw information. Really, the audio vibration is you sense a physical state of the machine. Yeah, you directly observe it. That's how these sensors works. Yeah. And so I definitely agree. We have many discussions with customers who build a big data platforms. They are complaining. We collect all these different sensors data, and there is no correlation between my humidity in my factory and date of the week something happens with correlation when some machine breaks. These data are not collected. You need to really observe physical manifestation, how the machine operates, and that's what we do through these sensors. There are two more parameters which are very useful for kind of predictive maintenance purposes. One is infrared camera, so you can observe how the heat is distributed through the machines, and that's something we are running first trials on collecting data as additional information to the audio. The other one is intensity of electric current, which is useful sometimes of machines when you can combine these inputs into a single model. So it's not just listening to it, but it's just also having understanding of overall electric consumptions. So these are two extra sensors which are meaningful to add. The rest is really nice to have. It's very good for the context if the people needs to interpret, but primarily it's not really providing the insight into machine mechanical operationals, which we are specializing in.
Thanks. So Ariel, maybe ending words from you. Do you integrate into the existing OT systems in the factory? Do you use them? Or are you really relying on your own sensors?
I share the same view of my two colleagues. I see a lot of advantage to basically start everything from scratch via sensors and bypass every other limitation of legacy systems. So basically, we are the data source, and we analyze that. Of course, we do integration with other companies in places that we see value. There was an article at Forbes magazine published by SAP about the collaboration that they are doing with us. About a month ago, we are working with them for the last 1.5 years at the CEO level. Because there is a product synergy. We represent the real-time data from the production floor, and the ERP systems represent what they planned to do. So there is a built-in synergy between two sources of information. But at stage one, to bring value immediately to the customers and not to be dependent on any other external source of information, we bring value in day one. We are not relying on any other source of information.
Cool. So it seems that all solutions can really be adopted really, really quickly and bring value, bring the ROI that our customers are looking for, which sounds really, really good. Guys, unfortunately, our time is up. So thank you for this very interesting session. And Wendy, back to you.